A few months ago, I was sitting at the dinner table with my family, and I was somewhere else entirely. Not on my phone, not distracted by anything obvious, just empty. And that was the moment I realized the problem wasn't my schedule. That was the moment that I realized that I had all the time in the world. Retirement gave me that. What I didn't have was the energy to show up for any of it. So I started tracking where it was actually going. What I found really pissed me off. Your energy works like a bank account. You wake up with a balance, and by 2 in the afternoon, most men our age have spent it all without knowing where it went. Here's where it's going. The first one is unresolved mental loops. These are the conversations you keep replaying, the worry you haven't done anything about, the decision you've been postponing for 3 weeks. Your brain doesn't park those unresolved loops. It just keeps running them in the background quietly all day, draining your battery, whether you notice it or not. I had an unresolved disagreement with someone I care about last year. 2 weeks, no blow up. We just never finished the conversation. I was done by noon every day and couldn't figure out why. The moment we actually talked it through, I got 2 hours of my afternoon back. Unresolved weight costs more than you think. Now, the fix is embarrassingly simple. You just have to actually face the thing. But the second leak, that's harder to spot because most men don't even recognize it as a drain. That one surprised me. But the second leak is even more common, and most men don't even recognize it as a drain. The second leak is saying yes to things you don't want to do. We were raised to treat availability as a virtue. Show up, don't complain. But over time, that curdles into obligation disguised as generosity. And every yes you don't mean costs real energy. You agree to things because you don't want the awkwardness of saying no, not because you don't want to be there. And every time you do that, you spend real energy performing enthusiasm that you don't have. That's not generosity. That's a slow drain. The third leak is what you're putting into the system. Late night news, a bad breakfast, background noise you stop noticing. None of it is neutral. The news cycle is engineered to keep you activated. That's not engagement. That's stress without resolution. A bad breakfast means wrong fuel by 9 a.m. Background noise, it competes for attention in ways you stopped counting. You haven't audited what you consume in years, and that's the leak. What you consume determines how fast your balance empties, and most of us haven't audited that in years. Here's where most advice stops, at the leaks. But patching holes in an empty account still leaves you broke. So here's what actually puts energy back. The first one is a fixed shutdown to sleep routine. The night before determines the morning after, and most men completely ignore this. They watch television until they feel tired, check their phone one last time, and fall asleep with a full inbox still running in the background. Then they wonder why they wake up at 60%. What actually works is treating the last 20 minutes before bed as protected time. No screens, same bedtime every night, then about 30 minutes. Something quiet. The point is giving your nervous system a real transition between the day and sleep. Because without one, you bring the whole day to bed with you, and your brain processes it all night instead of recovering. This one change, done consistently, outperforms every supplement and morning hack you'll read about. Now, the second investment is a daily 20-minute walk, plus simple mobility work. Now, this isn't fitness content. It's maintenance spending on the machine you run everything else through. Skip it long enough, and the baseline quietly drops. Things that should be easy start feeling hard. I put together this free 20-minute routine specifically for men over 60. No gym, no equipment. The link is below. Now here's the thing. Both of these investments tend to fall apart without the third one. Third investment is boundaries on your energy, not emotional walls, not cutting people off, just spending limits, the same way a budget has them. When someone asks you to do something that would cost you more than you have right now, you're allowed to say no. So here's what it sounds like. It's not something I can take on right now. No long explanation, just a short, honest answer respects the other person and it protects your account. When you stop bleeding energy on obligations that aren't yours, the afternoon crash gets lighter, and that 20-minute walk starts feeling like something you actually want to do instead of something you're surviving. Protect your first 90 minutes. Whatever matters most to you, do it before anything external gets a vote. Walk, read, write, sit quietly, work on something you care about. Once that window closes, the day fills itself. It always does. But if you protect that first block, you go into the rest of it from a full account instead of an empty one. This isn't about becoming a morning person. It's about spending your freshest energy on what you've actually chosen before the requests start arriving. Now I want to make this real for you, not abstract. So let me show you exactly what the same day looks like with this and without it. Version 1, without this. You wake up already behind. You never switched off. You grab something fast, and by 10 a.m., you're spending energy you don't have. By dinner, you're physically there. Version 2 is with this. You protected the night before. You spent your first 90 minutes on what matters before the world started making withdrawals. You moved, you said no to one thing, and when you sit down at the dinner table, you're actually there. Not performing presence, actually present. That's what I'm working toward, just the capacity to actually use what I've built. Because retirement doesn't tell you this up front. A full calendar and an empty tank is its own kind of broke. This isn't a transformation, it's a recalibration, and it compounds your energy. Your energy account is real, and you control more of the balance than you think. If you want to start rebuilding your baseline today, please grab that Stronger After 60 Daily Mobility Guide. Again, the link is in that description. And if this hit for you, subscribe. Next week, I'm covering the one mindset shift that determines whether all of this actually sticks or falls apart by day 3. You don't want to miss that one.